Conway Hall. Please welcome to the stage, Kill James Bond.
Testing. Okay.
Sex pervert, your reform candidate for Darlington and Hayes. I was shooting for evil transsexual and I hit a different kind of evil. I regret to say that it's giving Stop ULEZ. Hello and welcome to another live episode of Kill James Bond.
And hello and welcome to all of our live viewers at home.
Looking directly down the barrel of the camera.
There's about as many of them as there are people in here, which means we can distinctively say half of our audience are cowards.
That's right. I am November Cali. I am joined, as always, by my friends Abigail Thorne and Devon.
Hey! Gotta hit the pause.
And thank you again to Conway Hall and the Ethical Society for hosting us. This is going to be the first ethical episode of Kill James Bond. And
yeah, this is vegan leather.
yeah, previously we had all been clubbing at least one seal per episode. It didn't go in, we didn't even use it for anything, but and let me tell you, they're gonna struggle to get the taint of unethics out of this place once we're through. It's gonna be like an apartment someone used to smoke in. There's going to be residue they're going to be scraping off the walls.
No Johnny's English were harmed in the making of this podcast.
But this is the thing, though, because unto every nation is granted a Johnny. And previously, we gave you the legend of Australian Johnny.
That's right.
But I regret to say that England exists too. And consequently, there is an English Johnny. But we should back up a bit. If you're not familiar with Rowan Atkinson, right?
I want to know how you finish this, because how would you introduce a newbie to the concept?
Have you heard of a place called Cambridge University? Because they produce guys like this on a kind of industrial scale who have really great talent and then just basically get careers for life in British media forever.
Yeah, I would say part of the reason why, right, is that in the beginning was the word, and the word was bean, right? Because anywhere you go, you could go to Shimla, you could go to Singapore, you could go to Caracas, you could go to Chicago, and there will be someone there of any background who will be like, oh, I love that Mr. Bean though, he's so funny. Just mime comedy. That's
clowning.
Yeah, exactly.
Literally, he's a clown.
Yeah, and that's one axis of the kind of spectrum of Rowan Atkinson, right? The other one is Edmund Blackadder. And Edmund Blackadder is the reason why I'm so sorry if you went to school with me.
Yes.
Edmund Blackadder teaches us that if you over-enunciate everything you say and are desperately cruel to the only people who can tolerate you,
then you'll have a great career in British media for your entire life. That's how this works.
It's really fun. And so Johnny English occupies, just dumping my grand unified theory of Johnny English up front, occupies the exact midpoint. Not to get too, pretentious, but it's a dialectical synthesis.
This is an educational podcast.
Yeah, between Mr. Bean and Edmund Blackadder.
Yeah, you don't know, but back there it's all whiteboards on the wall. We've been figuring this shit out from the start.
Ermine flasks, we've been distilling various clowning elixirs.
Yeah. Red string.
It's three lab coats. One of them's a bit more elegantly cut. One of them's sleeveless.
Mine's got sequins. It's great.
And we've been working on this, and so we bring you 2003's Johnny English. And let me tell you, this is going to be a struggle because this is the best one.
Yeah. It is.
We have 2 more nights of these. You can still buy tickets. So Johnny English 1, right, exists.
It's all right. It's you know.
Yeah,
It's like competent, yeah.
It is, and part of the reason
It's not
why
as racist as the others.
I just want you to note here that I have the drops in front of me, and I have Racist Noises 1 and Racist Noises 2.
I gotta tell you, the rest of these aren't looking good. I'm seeing Orient, Bedouin, Guatemalan.
Yeah, if we've got any Guatemalans in tonight, I'm so sorry. Bedouins also. But so, yeah, this happened in 2003, this came out, right? And it exists because of Barclays. Because...
Yet another act of evil within the world.
Which is why they're on the list, okay?
Barclays cannot sponsor Pride because they inflicted Johnny English on this community.
Among several other things, but lower down the list of things that Barclays have done is Johnny English.
The stuff they did to Johnny Palestinian doesn't bear thinking about. But so 2003 this came out, and Barclays had done a bunch of ads for Barclaycard, their credit card, with Rowan Atkinson playing this character called Richard Latham. And he was kind of like, what if Edmund Blackadder was a spy, right? There's like a 14-minute compilation of this on YouTube. I managed 3.
Yeah, and it's got 2 adverts in it. Because you remember when adverts were 4 minutes long and had stories, and now they're all 5 seconds because you just watch that and then you skip it and you watch Philosophy Tube. But back then, adverts used to have fucking stories. There were characters in it that he played. He was a recognizable spy called Richard
Latham.
Richard Latham, who was this he was basically Johnny fucking English.
Yeah, exactly.
He was, yeah.
He had a sidekick called Boff, who he was very cruel to in the sort of Blackadder mode. And eventually, we got to the point where they did the thing, right? If you remember, in Die Another Day, it was so poorly received that people didn't come out to the cinema, and so consequently, the British public...
You just killed James Bond.
No more Brosnan. And so Purvis and Wade, the 2 guys who wrote all the Bonds, were left with a dilemma, which is what to do post-Brosnan, pre-Craig, in the kind of off-season, right? And the answer was, what if we got Rowan Atkinson to do the Barclaycard ads as a 90-minute feature film?
What if that advert was a whole movie that you could go to in the cinema? Imagine if there was a Go Compare Man movie in 2015.
The lathe!
I'll write the Go Compare Man movie if you want to give me a couple of million. That's fine.
I'm actually auditioning for the Go Compare Man movie next week.
But so clearly Rowan Atkinson was like, I need a new, I don't know, car or whatever. Fuck it, fine, I'll do this. And so this movie really does open full force with Rowan Atkinson's big rubbery face, lunging into view at you. And he does the James Bond thing. He's infiltrating a location. He comically disarms some guard dogs with some squeaky toys. He gets held at gunpoint and then activates gun autism because this is also my power. He gets held at gunpoint and he goes,
the Heckler and Koch G36.
Which gives me 2 drops, neither of which are audible, but I wrote a joke for them, so you're getting it anyway. Can just one person shout something fun out? Something fun. Thank you.
The Heckler.
Perfect.
There we go. That's the one joke we had ready for this, so...
Yeah, I don't hit that drop again. If I hit that drop again, it activates a metal plate. Oh, I did also get a really clean...
Cock.
Just in case, But so, he meets a beautiful woman, and the beautiful woman is seduces him in the kind of Austin Powers mode.
Well, in fact, she gets him at gunpoint, and she says, you won't be getting me with your legendary power over women, Mr. Johnny English. And he goes, he has some line which is on the contrary. The script is written that you do.
Ms. Goldakova.
And she's just puts the gun down and then they're making out. But then it turns out it's a dream. He's daydreaming.
Because he works in the kind of more Tinker Tailor Soldier Spy kind of shitty end of British espionage. In an office.
Not in the glamorous podcasting bit of British espionage.
That's right.
Where we work.
And he works in this kind of dilapidated office with Ben Miller from Armstrong and Miller, who is his boss, his submissive partner in espionage.
I heard some people hissing through their teeth there because some people know that Ben Miller signed a letter 4 years ago in support of J.K. Rowling.
Oh no. Man.
Cock.
It's a real shame because I like his performance in this, but unfortunately, death.
He's better than Rowan Atkinson in this.
True.
Which is a real problem for the movie.
Yeah. They don't get it back for the second one, and it seems so petty. They're like, fuck him, he's too good. little bitch.
Giving him the Peter Sellers treatment. Yeah, no. I mean, I know from Armstrong and Miller, and like, okay, before Kill James Bond, it used to be that the maximum number of people you could have in a British comedy group was 2. We actually invented having a third person. I think it really adds things, you know?
Yeah, we did that. For us, it was like the Mighty Boosh, Armstrong and Miller. I mean,
2 Ronnies, bloody...
2 Ronnies, yeah, there you go. The nice thing about us is that none of us have done blackface too.
Well...
Which is more than can be said for the Mighty Boosh. And fucking, what's it, Williams and Lucas? You know, let's not talk about the shit they've done.
Yeah, let's absolutely not.
Ask me after the show.
But so they work in this office like doing like the kind of the grunt work, right? They have to prepare the like documents and shit for Agent 1.
Yeah, for the Bond figure. They're they're like one of the background guys in the Q scene, right? They're just fellas that work at MI6.
Yeah, which is a fun bit, I guess, if you're willing to like write it.
Good enough.
And Agent 1 comes in, he's like very charming, and like I feel like this is a bit of a missed opportunity, right? Because 2 times this franchise does what about working with James Bond? It'd be fucking intolerable, he's a
much
dick.
Funnier.
Yeah.
Like,
much funnier movie.
instead he's just like, he's nice, but like, you know, sort of out of Johnny English's league bureaucratically. And so he just kind of like simpers over him and is just like, oh, I've got you the documents to like open the submarine hatch to infiltrate the Mediterranean or whatever. And the next shot, and this is the only joke that lands, is Agent 1 fucking killed. Dead.
Agent 1 killed in action, submarine hatch failed to open is the
You just killed James Bond.
He's gone.
In fairness, this is a pretty intense way of killing James Bond. Like, to drown him in the Mediterranean, like, Tom Ripley style? He fucking Dickie Greenleafed James Bond?
You can do it fucked up if it's not on screen. Like, they buy for Dolphin that boy without... It just comes up at the bottom, like, whoa, shit.
Yeah.
Do try not to be extruded through a pipe this time, 007.
My man is shot.
Look out, you're about to be extruded through a pipe. Remember that drop? That was a couple of years ago.
So Agent 1 gets demoted to Agent 9 because he's fucking dead. And every other, like, 00 agent is going to mourn him at the funeral for the, like, teaspoon of remains that they have left.
He's being buried in several matchboxes.
It's being pallbeared by every single other competent MI7 agent. And, like, we get Johnny English being like, don't worry, I'm in charge of security for this. Absolutely nothing can go wrong. Distant explosion.
Yeah, I hope you like jokes with a kind of very obvious setup, because that's kind of the movie's whole stock in trade, you know?
Oh, good. You talk about the movie? Oh, okay, good.
Yeah, they like those. That's their
Okay,
hit.
good. Fuck, so he like every other 00 agent is killed.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're gone.
And they are left
Off the board.
with only Johnny English.
So M in this is called Pegasus. He's just M. And he meets with the Prime Minister of the United Kingdom, guy I love to see, Kevin McNally, who you may know as Mr. Gibbs from Pirates of the Caribbean. Love this actor. Great fucking British character.
Oh, shit.
Okay, you're there. The sound of approval
Okay.
for Mr. Gibbs from Pirates of the Caribbean. Okay, great.
We're all big fans of Mr. Gibbs here.
I didn't clock that at all. I'm not a big Mr. Gibbs head. I'll just tell
You're
you.
not Gibbs built.
I mean, I remember when I came over yours one time, and you had that big poster of Mr. Gibbs. I thought it was kind of weird, but you know, you just appreciate talent when you see it, you know?
I just love pirates. You know me.
Yeah.
There'd be so many jokes I could do if I could remember a single other fucking person from Pirates of the Caribbean. Like, shit.
Give it time.
We'll get there. I'll just yell a guy's name in like half an hour.
Yeah, so he kills Agent 1, and then agents 1 through 8 are like, I hope you enjoy, you know, guarding the cemetery. You know, the second time's easier, and he's like, yeah, considerably. We get the opening titles, right?
Yeah.
And they wrote a theme song for this by Robbie Williams.
It's good. I like the theme song.
It's in the movie.
It's fun.
It's of its time, which is something you would say about a racist uncle.
Yeah.
Or indeed a racist film.
Or Robbie Williams.
Indeed. We'll get to it.
M gets him in the thing. And he's like, all right, listen, I hate employing you for anything. I hate watching you work. It really is just very...
You just killed every single other agent. I know it's your fault, but we don't have anyone else, so I guess you're the guy now.
It's perilously close to an actual straight version of Bond, I wish you were drowned at birth. I hate your ass. But yeah, so instead now, the crown jewels have been restored thanks to, and this is a fun PFI kind of Blair era detail, a corporate sponsor. They're going to be exhibited at the Tower of London. We need you to go and do security.
And so Johnny English says, oh, who was the corporate sponsor? And we hear about our villain of the film, Pascal Sauvage, who is going to be played by John Malkovich.
Another John?
It's not worth a woo, I'll be honest with you.
I like John Malkovich. I think he's really good.
I mean, not in this.
He's so good at this. He's so game for this role, which is like such a silly role. It's
That's
fun.
one way of saying it, yeah. So
I think he does fine. Yeah, no, I liked it.
he goes to the Tower of London reception. He meets the like beef eater in chief or whatever.
Yeah.
And
Hell happens in this movie.
okay, that's just entering my head now. Okay,
Beefy Rich.
you can't call a guy that.
He goes talk to the ranking beefeater.
Why can't you
can't
call
a guy that. It just sounds off. But so he searches some curtains. He searches up a woman's dress, which is a fun like groping joke.
Yeah, he does assault a woman in this.
Yeah, fully.
Whatever, yeah.
But she's like kind of comically fat, so it's like 1920s Marx Brothers shit rather than like
Yeah.
Me Too shit.
Right.
Like it's fine.
But then there's a lady here who you can't sexually assault because she's thin. And she's played by...
Natalie Imbruglia. You may remember
Yeah.
her from 4 other films, 3 of which have a Wikipedia page. Breakout hit This Was Not.
No.
And there are a few reasons, not least... Right, look.
This could have been her Beyonce and like gold member moment. This could have been... Can you imagine if like Natalie Imbruglia was just like colossal now and just would
she's
not
not to
talk
you?
about... Okay. All women are queens, first of all.
Thank you.
All right, let's put that down. Okay. Like the Homelander thing, like, oh, okay, I've gone away with it.
It was kind of the reverse Beyonce, right? Because she was big as a singer and then decided, I'll get another string to my bow, I'll go and be an actress, right? And had the misfortune to be in this movie. And...
Reverse Beyonce Eknyobeb.
yeah, sure.
I'll go add that to the whiteboard in a second.
The key thing about Natalie Imbruglia in this, right, is that she's trying her best, but she also lapses into a really thick, like, natural Australian accent quite a lot.
Yeah.
So
he's like, what's your natural accent? And she says, I don't know, what about Australian, Johnny?
awful.
Fuck off.
But yeah, she's trying to do like kind of ambiguous like femme fatale, and then Johnny English talks to her, and she's like, she sounds like fucking Ben Mendelsohn.
Oh, Johnny?
Oh, Johnny,
You've not been talking to the cops, have you, mate?
You haven't been talking to fucking MI7,
worry
have you,
about it.
mate?
Catch me doing an Australian accent live on stage, like for the first time, just trying it out.
There are like 5 Australians watching
Bloody
this
hell.
at like
Truth.
7 in the morning their time. Furious.
They're buying plane tickets for tomorrow, like, fuck 'em.
Buying physical tickets and just getting straight on a plane.
If you leave now, you can make night 3 to physically harm us.
We'll see you there. We're not going to Australia. It's hard.
I understand it's hot out there also.
It's pretty hot here.
Yeah, Devon and I have a competition to see who can keep their jacket on the longest, because we're both absolutely fucking boiling.
I have dangerously little shirt on under this, it's fine.
We've got my hair down as well.
He meets Natalie Imbruglia and she's like vaguely mysterious at him and she's like, oh, have you met Pascal Sauvage?
First of all, they miss a trick because he orders a drink and it should be something silly, right? It should be
like pint of beef juice or whatever.
lemonade and cream with a little cocktail umbrella, like pronouncing every single word of it. But he's just like Bloody Mary, and I'm just like,
You could have hit it. You could have hit it with a bit more
come on, man.
pussy, a bit more cunt. You're not putting your pussy into this, Rowan Atkinson.
It's true. He's really not. He's phoning it in.
He's phoning it in.
Who are the two guys, Penn and Teller, who wrote this?
What?
Who were the two guys who wrote this?
Fucking Purvis and Wade.
That's it.
Okay. Yeah, the Bond movie's written by Penn and Teller.
Yeah.
Bond just
Penn and Teller, Armstrong and Miller.
don't agree with some of the things they made Bond say
Virginie
and do.
and fucking what the fuck is Noel Fielding?
Yeah, sure. I love the show where we half remember things.
We just try to name comedy double acts.
Yeah, because we invented having a third mic.
The one with David Mitchell in it is on the tip of my tongue.
The heckler.
In many ways, the second cast member after Matthew Lubchansky. But so she goes, have you met Pascal Sauvage? Who is John Malkovich with some deeply fucked hair. He looks like Javier Bardem in Skyfall, hair-wise. Like, it's uncomfortable. And he has also the worst French accent, of which I have a little drop.
The Archbishop of Canterbury.
Now, you better believe he holds that for the whole movie.
I mean, this film has a real bee in its bonnet about the French, and
Yes.
I think so. My grand unifying theory of the Johnny English films is that they track Top Gear.
You are so much more right than you know.
Yeah, they start off in 2003 being like, like the French cheese-eating surrender monkeys, and then it's like, getting a little bit more racist, and then by the third one, it's like, actually, we should run over Just Stop Oil with a Range Rover. Like, that's the trajectory we're going on here. Really, these films do track English, like, motorized Top Gear fascism quite well.
It really does,
We will fully get to that. Also, the worst spy in the world.
I'm a little bit concerned that
He's woke. Jeremy Clarkson's woke now.
What?
Shut the fuck up.
My pronouns
Shut the fuck
are
up.
she, her.
He wrote a newspaper column about how we shouldn't be mean to trans people.
Is that what we're qualifying as woke
Should
now?
give
Is that-
all of his money immediately to transgender charities and kill himself.
Relative to the standards of the rest
It's
of British
like
media.
saying the guy in Chernobyl with the least radiation poisoning. It's like, oh, this guy respects my pronouns as he's running me over. Cool.
I will not hand it to Jeremy Clarkson on this one.
Under no circumstances. But so,
If you're watching, Jeremy.
You can make it if you leave now.
given like car speeds, probably he could make it tonight if he left now.
You can make it, if you live near enough by, you can make it tonight.
Just picking a bunch
Through
of
the
Just Stop
door.
Oil protesters out of the engine grill.
Mm-hmm.
But so Pascal Sauvage is like ostentatiously French billionaire who's paid for the restoration of the crown jewels. And Johnny English, we get some cringe comedy. We love cringe comedy, right? It's where you say, oh, I hate that guy who's like definitely not standing behind me. And then he goes, bonjour, I'm standing behind you. They milk this for about 20 minutes. It fucking sucks.
Every year I go up to Scotland to see the Edinburgh Cringe.
Yeah, I always hate that like one sympathetic story where they're like, oh, I play to one person at the cringe, you know? Actually, that'll be the best possible cringe audience, right? Because you're only embarrassing yourself in front of one person, so it's
I don't know.
preferable.
I did stand up to an audience of like 5 people one time, and it's not better if it's smaller.
No, it's not.
It's not better.
My first ever Edinburgh Fringe gig was to 4 people. It was...
Pretty good.
Thank you to the one person who said, and may I also say, thank you for coming to this as well as being there for that. Thank you for being with me all these years. Mum.
Let me just...
I'm kidding, my mum does not come to my live shows.
Let me just incinerate any
Mine
sympathy
isn't.
for me in the room and say that this is the first live event I've done that wasn't sold out.
Fuck off. Oh shit, that includes, technically that's the same for me. Yeah, okay, well done.
Wait,
So when you did a stand-up gig to 5 people, there were only 5 tickets on sale?
It was part of actually that's true. Yeah, fuck me then. It was part of like, I wasn't the only one doing it.
Because if that's the case, I think that is your fault. Like,
I thought you were going in a different direction. I thought you were like, I did it, but not as a live event. I did it, I like mailed in a tape of comedy, you know?
Yeah, it was actually just like a living room. Like, it was just a family. I walked in and started doing bits.
Yeah, legally it was more of a hostage situation, but like, you got to find the humor in these things.
They loved it though, you know, real Stockholm by the end of it. I go back there and play every couple of weeks. My biggest fan.
But so Pascal Sauvage, like, it just kind of like insults me. It's like, oh, if you hate French people, well, I am French. Cool.
Yeah.
I like the joke they do here, which is that he is actually more charming than Johnny English is.
Yeah, way
especially
more.
towards, can't remember Natalie Imbruglia's real name in this.
Natalie Imbruglia.
Natalie
I think.
Imbruglia.
No, okay, yeah. He's more charming towards her than Johnny English is, because Johnny English mistakes him for a waiter, and then he's like, no, I insist, I will in fact wait on you just to make you look like a dipshit. I'll go and get you a drink.
Yeah,
Sick.
it's nice.
Cool.
It's a power move. Would you believe that the crown jewels are then stolen? Crazy, right?
Whoa. By the way, the reasons that Sauvage he's like a prisons guy. They say he's built 400 prisons.
Yeah, he's a private prison entrepreneur.
private prison
which is a thing.
entrepreneur, that's the guy.
We do still have those in this
Yeah,
country.
yeah.
And again, we sort of approached a point about like Blairism, maybe. And then Johnny English mistakes the assailant and knocks out the chief beef eater or chief eater.
The beef chief eater.
I got there eventually. All right, fuck you.
The beeftane?
Chief tweef
Yeah,
beef.
the beefsteak.
The beeftane? You
Yeah.
know, like chieftain? No. Okay.
Beef
Cut
soup
that. Get
and
that off
vodka.
the record.
What?
This is rapidly becoming the ramblings of three deeply...
Everyone slowly stops laughing and just quietly starts leaving.
That was a kind of fucking Samuel Beckett play.
Yeah.
It's been the long game of the podcast the entire time. No, Johnny English pretends to fight the assailant in a cupboard.
Oh,
He's like,
yes, he
Don't come in.
does.
He's really like savage. No, stay out. I'll get you. Like,
In order to illustrate this, he makes a
you're gonna
series
do
of
it now
noises.
with that door?
No, I'm going to do it with these 3 drops,
Oh.
which I have labeled Racist Noises 1, Racist Noises 2, and Sheep. See, Rowan Atkinson was right. If you fucking enunciate, you can make anything funny. Sheep. Yeah, so he's like, oh, I'm being fought by this guy who's doing the, literally, Purvis and Wade's second to last movie before this, Tomorrow Never Dies Kung Fu noises, these ones. Yeah, except they gave those noises to a racist dipshit who was the villain of the movie. This is the protagonist.
This is the guy that we're supposed to think is
this is the
good.
guy making these noises. Every time
Wow,
you think
that's
it's going to
so
stop.
long.
Every time you think it's going to... And then you go, oh, thank God, it stopped. And then I hit racist noises too.
That's like half bean, half racist.
I love that band. And then, just to cap it all off, he wrestles with himself and makes a noise that's a perfect sheep bleat.
Wow.
Oh my God.
It's uncanny.
Wow. That almost makes me think they like dubbed that in.
Like the camels in Rambo.
Yeah.
It was mules, fuck.
Wow. See, I've been discovering recently that like when big movies and stuff like this go out and TV shows too, they obviously get dubbed into other languages, right? And I know this because I watched a little bit of the Spanish and the Italian and the Polish dubs of House of the Dragon. So what I'm wondering
yeah.
is, who did like the Spanish, Italian, and the Portuguese dubs, and what noises did they make?
Well, see, you could get genuinely famous doing this. Like, if you're the like German Homer Simpson or whatever, everybody in Germany fucking loves you. Like, and so if you're Johnny German, then presumably
Bad
you're
movies.
doing even more racist noises, and then finish it off with, I don't know, some kind of goat or something. I don't know what
But
kind
what,
of.
what if you are Johnny Chinese?
You're just doing racist
Did
English
this
noises?
movie come out in China?
I know that the second one didn't.
What if the racist English noises were just actual Mr. Bean sounds?
Yeah, that's his culture.
Yeah.
It's unfortunate, but that's just how he talks, you know? He doesn't mean anything by it. So they escape the fucking... He makes up an assailant, the crown jewels are stolen, and so he gets back in trouble with M, who hits him fully with a...
If we could identify that someone,
Why don't you try the identigraph?
This is funny. It's a reverse identigraph because he's made up a guy, and they're like, "Give us an ID for it," and he's like, "Ooh."
Making up a guy to get mad at for stealing the
He
crown
gives him
jewels.
this outlandish description, which is based on a fruit bowl, which is behind him. So he's like, oh, his hair was orange and curly, and he had a scar like a banana, and he gives this like ridiculous description.
I do want to say banana, because this is the thing. This is a man who has built his house upon the voiced bilabial plosive. Banana. That's funny to you, right? You like that?
The wise man built his house upon the bilabial plosive.
I'm building my house on the fricative is what I'm doing.
I'm just building my house on the normal labia.
I think it's very like essentialist of you to call them normal.
Yeah. By that I mean the inner labia.
The ethics quotient is dropping fast.
I don't fuck with the outer labia at all. Not interested.
They're gonna have to ethically fumigate the building.
Well, because inner labia is administered by China, whereas outer labia is its own republic.
They have to call it labia Taipei or something for the Olympics.
Do you ever look at your life?
No, I put a lot of effort into not doing that. No, yeah.
Try not to, actually, these days.
So he gives them this description that cannot possibly relate to a real person, and then he goes back to the scene of the crime, where there are some cops, and Boff's like, "Oh, do you want to get help from the cops?" And Johnny English, to be fair, is like ACAB. He's like, no, fuck these guys. They don't do what we do. You know, we're not like, you know, smearing enemies of the state. Bobbies. Boys. And he falls down a hole that they've drilled under the fucking
Yeah.
So I'm trying to get to the bottom of the Buff thing. Like Buff, right? What is he? So he knows that he was working with Johnny before Johnny was a spy.
Yeah.
And
he was working with him in the like shit spy office for cunts.
Yeah, can you imagine being like someone's like number one and they're like, they just work in admin? Like, so this is nice. He gets to know that Johnny he's not actually a spy. He's not done any of this shit. But Johnny keeps talking really like authoritatively about being a spy, and Buff, like...
He's just deferential to him. He calls him sir all the time.
He does call him sir all the time. It is decent.
Yeah, this is the thing. It doesn't work in the third film where Boff has a wife. It doesn't work. This the whole dynamic only works if Boff's in love with him.
They're gay. They're obviously gay, right? Like,
of course.
They're clearly gay. And then in the third film, there's this bit where, and there's like this long drawn out scene where Ben Miller's just like, oh, I got married actually in the last few years. He goes, really? And there's this like dead weight pause, and I'm like, oh, they're gonna do it. They're gonna kiss. They're really gonna do it. And then he goes, yeah, she's great. And I'm like, oh, you fucking cowards!
They flirt with it a couple of times. They never really acknowledge in this PG-13 film that what Boff and English are engaged in is a total power exchange, 24/7 lifestyle, dominance, submission, relationship.
50 Shades of Boff.
Yeah.
So he falls down the thing, and this is just really, it's a tour through the kinds of racism that were acceptable in British comedy in like 2003, because he falls down the thing, it's like pitch dark, and Boff's like, how are you going to see? And he goes, don't worry, I learned a secret technique from...
the Bedouin monks of the Al Maghreb Mountains.
Yeah. Now, so okay, back, not to immediately go back to Buff here, but Buff knows that's not real, right? Like, he knows that that's not true.
Yes.
But he just defers to it.
Yeah. Just go with it. Just go with it.
I love
walking up to a couple and being like, all right, which one of you is the Johnny English? Which one
of you is the Boff?
Yeah, which one of you is the Boff?
God.
Leading to the possibility of a power Boff.
Yeah. He is the power Boff. Because he's... Like, Boff's the guy who's doing all the actual spy work throughout this movie. He is the power Boff.
That's the joke, is that Boff's actually good at being a spy.
Boff is competent.
We need to get Northern Lion out here. We can just figure this shit out.
Get it? Yeah. If you can make it here by the third night.
Yeah, flights from Canada, yeah. But
on.
so, obviously this doesn't work because at this point in the movie, English is still an oaf and a buffoon.
Yeah, worth noting what he actually does, because I interrupted. It's like he sort of does echolocation?
Yeah, he goes like this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And suffice it to say, this doesn't work. He runs straight into a wall. And Boff sort of negotiates them out of the situation.
Yeah, and at this point, so they follow the tunnel that goes down from the Tower of London, and it leads to a warehouse. And the guys, the henchmen at the other end of the warehouse, are loading the crown jewels into a hearse. Now, the crown jewels was stolen last night. So that means that these guys stole the crown jewels,
Yep.
Yeah.
took them through a tunnel
Yep.
Yeah.
to a location,
Yep.
then didn't move them anywhere else.
Yeah, with that tunnel still extant,
Yeah, just like went out for
leading
dinner,
directly to their location.
went to bed, and like this is like morning the next day. They're like, well, I guess we better go and get the crown jewels and move them, guys.
Right, first of all, they're employed by a Frenchman, so you know that these are union protections, strong
Yeah.
as fuck. The second they're off.
Have you transported the crown jewels yet? I am out of office until August 31st.
Right. They tried to get him to like put him in the hearse at like 7:30, and they start throwing petrol bombs like immediately.
Finally, the people on the Hench app have unionized.
Finally.
At long last.
My 50M, 47M goons have unionized.
My M50M.
So they escape in a hearse, and English and Boff have to chase them, but their car has been towed.
Yeah, they has an Aston Martin, but he parked it ostentatiously outside of the Tower of London, and it's been towed, which is quite
That's
a funny
funny.
joke.
Like, this is kind of funny. This is a funny sequence.
We also get to another bit which I'm reluctantly forced to praise, right? Because you were more right than I think you maybe admitted when you said Top Gear, right? Because Rowan Atkinson, been on Top Gear a bunch of times, huge car guy. This will
What's
come
his
back.
time in the reasonable?
Oh, he was
Fast, do we
fastest.
know?
Like, he's properly like...
He's fast as fuck.
He's,
boy.
he
he's
can
a real
fucking drive.
petrolhead.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so like the cars in these movies are like often his cars. They have a lot of kind of like motorist preoccupations in the movies that carry through.
I think he and Steve Coogan have a bit of a rivalry, actually.
Nightmare blunt rotation.
Yeah. Steve Coogan nearly ran me over in his Ferrari once.
Just like recreationally, or
As he was leaving the set of Chivalry, which was his,
that wasn't
his
very
series that
chivalric
I had.
of
I
him.
know. It was an ironic
he's
title,
cocked out.
and like I had a small role in it. And as he was leaving, he fucking ran me over in the car park. It's like, how do I get out of here? Like,
you could have gotten a huge settlement if you just gotten more injured. You know, like.
it's fine. I'm a professional.
So the thing that I have to hand it to him on this one is that this is like quite impressive stunt work.
Yeah,
Technically.
this is well shot. It's a cool
It's
car
like if
chase.
you cut the fucking car chase from Ronin into the middle of like an otherwise shit movie. It's a lot like the film Ronin.
Because Boff, like the Aston has been put on the back of a tow truck, and so they just steal the tow truck, and Boff just like drives that instead. And then he's like picks the Aston up on a crane and like swings it out as they're driving around London. It's cool. It's well
It's a
done.
really good setup for a chase scene. Like, I gotta hand it to him. Although you get some real like proto-Ules Nazi shit.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, he fucking Captain Gatso's this guy.
He shoots a fucking speed camera with a missile from the car.
Every day we edge closer to James Bond blowing up family court.
Yeah.
There is a bit I like as well, which is when the Aston gets released. Johnny English like does a J turn in it, and normally if James Bond does a J turn, it wouldn't like cut back to his face. It would just show us, but it cuts back to him like in the car, and he's like really proud that he pulled it off.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was sick.
Now the
Unfortunately-
taint enters the movie.
Exactly.
The taint of Johnny English being
He's
good at things.
too competent. He can't do a fucking J turn in an Aston Martin. He just fell down a hole like 10 minutes ago because he didn't see it.
This is the point at which like it starts to go slightly off the rails. It doesn't really make sense. 'Cause is he good or not?
He's supposed to be hyper confident but incompetent. Like, that's the root of all of the jokes, and it doesn't work if he rips out a casual J turn in a fucking Aston Martin.
It does get worse too, because he
Oh, yeah.
mistakes the hearse for another and ends up at a funeral,
This is a long scene.
Yes, it is.
which he comically disrupts, and Boff has to rescue him from. But Boff's tactic here is to go, don't worry, this man is dangerously insane.
Just remain calm. This is just an escaped mental patient.
I gotta be honest,
cool.
this is not a situation
Nice.
which I would necessarily be remaining calm, but it also offers an opportunity for Rowan Atkinson to do his mental illness bit. You may remember it from the end of Blackadder Goes Forth, putting a pair of underwear on your head and going wibble sort of thing. He does that for about, I don't know, like 3 or 4 hours, I would say.
Yeah, it does go on.
That doesn't fucking make sense either, because he starts the scene off like lucid, so it doesn't make sense for him to make the swap to go and like bubble all the time. Like he'd been talking the whole scene. Whatever.
Yeah. Also, like
It's literally not as funny. It could have been funnier if you just like maintain the continuity of the fucking scene and like have him just like be saying shit that is accurate, but implies that he's like not all there. Like it doesn't work if he just starts going like, ooh, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, it would have been funnier if he'd like said, "No, Boff, that's not what's happening. I do work for MI7," and Boff had just gone, "Yes, of course you
That's
do."
right.
And like made him look like a fool, like as you say, like very confident but incompetent, right?
these movies, they sort of like beg the question of better writing, right? You can kind of do it in your own time.
Yeah, we sort of said this during the Austin Powers thing where we were just like, give us control of this. But I've
Yes.
changed my mind. I actually would prefer to endlessly critique Powers.
Would you say that makes you the last of the old school film critics?
You two, shut the fuck up right now.
What fucking happens next?
There's a fucking live stream. Shut the fuck.
Is there? Well, I mean,
It's like the Palantir. We do not know who else may be watching.
you can make it here tomorrow
Not
night.
watching.
Please don't.
Don't be here.
What happens next in this movie?
Next, we go to Pascal Sauvage, who is announcing that he's the villain
Yes,
of the
he
film.
does
in
the
fact.
I'm the villain scene.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, I'm the villain.
And he says, I'm the villain. My family should have inherited the throne 200 years
I
ago.
remember a YouTube video about that.
In order to,
yeah.
I tried this shit.
It doesn't work.
You had,
I tried.
you had a horse and everything. I mean,
I know.
It's more qualified than he was. I mean,
Thank you.
this is when you get the
Archbishop of Canterbury.
Yeah.
bit, because he decides that for his plan to work, he needs to be crowned by.
The Archbishop of Canterbury.
So they are duplicating the Archbishop's face with like a Mission Impossible rubber mask.
Yes.
Yeah,
100%.
they got a perfect 3D mask of the Archbishop of Canterbury, like on Spectre Island. It's a lot like Bond, you know, they're like hunting fucking archbishops through there. They got a Justin Welby, you know, like face down dead. My next note just says second set of racist noises, which I think is skipping ahead a bit.
Very possibly, but at this point, Johnny English and Boff, they've ID'd the henchmen who were driving the crown jewels away, and they tell M, hey, these two guys, they work for Pascal Sauvage.
Yeah.
And there's a line I quite like from M where he's just like, well, Sauvage employs thousands of people. Just because two of them happen to be like former criminals doesn't mean he's up to anything nefarious. And it's like, damn, that's fucking bulletproof. You got it
that's-
there.
that's
You're
woke
actually
as
doing
hell.
like really kind of structural methods of violence there, Johnny English, because like this is a targeted population, and by exaggerating kind of misdeeds within it, you're really kind of framing them as. Anyway, we find out that like
woke
every
out.
single person he's hired has like gotten out of one of his private prisons early. So that he's doing like Cape Fear times 1 billion.
And he says, Pascal Sauvage is not a suspect. He's like Bezzy mates with
We
the
love
Prime
him.
Minister. We love him. He's great.
Yeah, imagine that. Like a little
give him
bit
a-
cutting, a little bit politics to
Yeah,
be like,
yeah,
oh, we're actually going to compromise some like security services investigations because like the guy's fun to hang out with.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This never happens.
Don't go anywhere near him. I'm going to be at his big party tonight at Sauvage's headquarters.
You realize this does cast Pascal Sauvage as Jeffrey Epstein. Bond, don't go near that fucking island.
Yeah. Okay. And so Johnny English immediately ignores this, and he starts
naturally.
planning an operation to like infiltrate fucking Sauvage's headquarters.
Yeah, and he's
Yeah.
planning it in the parking garage of MI7. And as they go past, there's a guy named Felch working on one of the cars.
Average
I've spelled
name.
Felch Mitchell here.
Yeah, Felchel.
Classic.
She's really checking the fuck out of that perimeter, I'll tell you.
Average Mitchell shit.
He's checking it too thoroughly, if anything. You can stop checking it now, Felch.
Because the reason I say Felch is because after they go past him, English turns to Boff and says,
Did that sound like Felch to you?
Does seem like Felch to you.
"Does that look like Felch to you?
Is that Felch?
Is that Felch? Is that
Is that
Felch?
my boy Felch?
Our old mate Felch that we all know."
Shit.
And it's not Felch, in fact.
Felch.
It's a henchman with a gun.
Yeah, he's Mitchelling. He's doing some Mitchell shit.
But again, like, it doesn't make sense for him to spot that, because that's actually a genuinely quite good moment of spycraft. It should have been Boff who goes,
Should have been Boff.
that wasn't
yeah.
him.
Should have been Boff.
It should have been Boff.
Anyway, this guy opens fire, and then we get a sort of like gunfight through the car park, which is very cheap to film in. by
I
the way.
kind of do like this subtle ongoing bit that he's completely fucked his gun up. Because
Yeah.
like
Yes.
in the intro montage that they do during the Robbie Williams song, that he's like, he field strips his gun and builds it back up again. And I've chosen to believe that he just like fucked it badly. And it's just
Yeah.
completely broken. Like the front comes off at this point. And it's just kind of funny. I don't know.
Yeah, every time he tries to shoot someone, like a piece falls off his gun.
Yeah, he ends
I like
up
it. I think it's
tackling
good.
Boff by mistake and like
Boff,
injuring
however.
Boff. Boff is compromised.
Boff does not fucking hesitate to let it bark though.
No.
Boff is a killer.
Yeah.
In the heat of battle, Boff do not miss.
He misses. But like he
Metaphorically.
literal
he
sense,
fires,
yes.
but he misses.
In a second, less accurate sense, he does not miss.
Yes.
Yeah, well, the accuracy is the problem, in fact, because he doesn't hit the target with his bullet.
I see. Yeah, that would be an issue, yeah. I would kind of want to get off this metaphor that I've embarked on.
Yeah, we could probably get off this. How does the scene end?
Yeah, he fucking tackles Boff by mistake.
Yeah, he
and,
does.
like,
He grabs
breaks his
Boff's
nose.
legs and just fucking slams him. And they're in the car going, and he's like, there must have been like 5 guys there, man. And Boff's there like a cotton bud on his bleeding nose. That's kind of
It's not bad, yeah.
There's a couple of good jokes in here. This won't last.
This
Don't
is
worry.
the point where we go to the sushi restaurant.
Yes,
Holy
because Johnny
shit.
English senses the presence of an Australian woman. A skill I would also like to have. Spots like a Mini Cooper with an Australian flag roof. And it's parked outside that most glamorous and exotic of locations, a Yo Sushi in central London.
Yeah, this is really funny because the movie thinks this is like a place of any significance.
It's
at all.
2003, mate. Like, have we
was new.
just gotten them? Like, we just gotten this shit?
Johnny English Forge, like that would be like a Popeyes now.
For real. Popeyes is good as hell. Yeah, one just opened up in Cardiff. Too close to me. Too close to me.
You're in serious danger. They always use Glasgow as a test market. Can't imagine why. So we got everything like before you. We got like Tim Hortons before London even. Like it's crazy. Anyway,
There's a Wendy's in Lincoln. Anyway.
this is.
no idea.
I hope you're all enjoying the live stream. And
But
the
anyway,
show. Where else are some Wendy's?
let's name some Wendy's locations. Wood Green?
The heckler.
There's a lot. There are more Wendy's than I was expecting. But anyway, they go into the Yo Sushi.
Never mind. I was going to tell a story about the CEO of Taco Bell.
Go right ahead. Go right ahead. We've got places to be.
I was in a room a while
They
ago.
can't leave till we're done.
with the CEO of Taco Bell, and he was giving
Fuck
us.
off.
Do you know how few CEOs have been
He
in the
was
room
giving a
with-
presentation in which he said Taco Bell is going to be an AI first company.
Yeah, man, for real.
I
Taco
don't know
Bell
either.
is a brand that believes in living mass. And Johnny English is an example of the live mass mentality. So, Yo Sushi. Right?
Yo Sushi.
Totally
Exotic.
unremarkable now. However, 2003, you were like, holy shit, is that a Yo Sushi? They got
my
the food
God.
on a conveyor belt.
What the
It goes
fuck? They wrapped
round.
that rice around the fish? Apart from that one, it's on top, but that's...
Telling me a shrimp fried this way. And so... And so Johnny English, like, he goes in there and he runs into Natalie and Brilliant. She's like, oh yeah, in Australia we've got fucking hundreds of these.
Yeah, we love sushi.
Yeah.
Which is, yeah, makes sense. They're quite close to sushi spot.
And like we get some...
If you're in Japan, if you leave now,
We don't have to highlight that I forgot the word sushi. I forgot the word Japan. We don't need to draw attention.
But so she's like, this is called Japanese food,
Yeah.
sort of. Don't be racist about it. And he goes,
we know Purvis and Wade. Come on,
Yeah.
you can't have a Bond film without some anti-Japanese
Yeah.
racism.
Can't have a Johnny English film without it.
Yeah, and so he goes,
The mysteries of the Orient are no mystery to me.
the mystery of the Orient is no mystery to me. And then the joke is that he can't use chopsticks and he gets his tie caught in the conveyor belt.
Yeah.
And she leaves. It sucks. It
They
fucking
do
sucks.
some
dude.
bits at him where they're like, urchin is like the most acquired of all tastes. And sea urchin is delicious, by the way. Not an acquired taste, just try it. I wrote fucking English scum here.
All my pages say that, actually.
I did look for the kill this white demon drop, but I
Kill
was
this
told
white
that
demon.
like that was like, you know, legally impermissible and unethical. So
It is worth highlighting because Foley is choices. You have to make the choice to put that sound into the movie.
True.
When he gets his tie caught in the Yo Sushi conveyor belt, all of the panic sounds are in Japanese. It's the sound of Japanese people panicking. There is one non-white couple in that Yo Sushi. It's in
and they're
central
making
London.
some noises.
It's a cafe of weebs.
Just like
To be fair, a Yo Sushi in London in 2003, likely place for them to be.
likely, yeah. Just not good.
Yeah,
Not good.
it does fully do the like, ugh, foreign food, gross joke.
Yuck.
And it just fucking sucks, dude.
Yo Sushi?
So anyway,
Entry level.
they go and do the covert operation, right? And if you like a joke with a long setup, this is the scene for you, right? It's basically the same structure as the fucking Hennemore jokes in Mitchell and Webb, right? It's like Ben Miller goes, you got two identical buildings. You got
Save some laughs for later.
Yeah. Yeah, and you can turn the movie off at that point because you know what's going to happen.
Yeah, just fast forward through this bit. You got two identical buildings. You got this children's hospital or whatever, and you got the evil headquarters. And we're going to parachute out, and we're going to land on the evil headquarters. And Johnny English is like, I don't need this fucking GPS woke shit.
Very funny. Yeah, he does like a sat nav bit because like he goes like, oh, I don't need technology. He jumps out and he's got like a paper map on his like hip boy on his fucking arm. Pretty good.
He also
funny.
says something to Boff, which again, Boff presumably knows is untrue.
knows
He's like,
isn't true.
I was once dropped into the Kalahari Desert with nothing but like a box of sherbet lemons and like a
And
fucking...
I still made it to Bulawayo before Ramadan. You're just saying things that are
shit.
foreign.
Yeah, man. And again, Boff like knows that's not true.
And he's like, yeah, sir, hundo. All right. But he lets him do it. Like he lets him do it.
I wonder if Boff is just hoping that at some point Johnny will fuck up and get killed. And he wants to be there to see it.
Yeah.
But
Boff's just like, has he checked his parachute? Has he packed his parachute? He has. Damn, not today, Boff. Not today.
a
Maybe
buff
tomorrow.
may not harm an English, but through inaction may allow an English to come to harm. Prime buff. So,
I was trying to make that was working. Yeah.
so you know the joke, right? You know what happens. Johnny English lands on the hospital and he takes a bunch of doctors and patients. He does libs of TikTok shit, basically, right?
Half funny. He walks into one of the rooms and there's like an old man there and he's like, what have they done to you? And the guy goes like, they took my blood. And he's like, the monsters.
Yeah,
Pretty good.
Hold some doctors at gunpoint, and then you get the like reveal.
This is what you have to do in this country to get fucking hormones. Legally, that was a joke.
I held my GP at gunpoint 200 times.
He's not threatened by the fifth time even.
I
You're
tell
like,
you what, that guy's got nerves of steel 199 times.
speed up any meeting by getting in, putting a gun on the table in front of you. You don't have to hold it.
I feel like you do, because if you put the gun on the table, then I go, oh, thank you very much. You were saying.
Well, naturally, it's the gun that fires backwards, and I've got him.
Yeah.
You fool. Falling right into my
They go for
trap.
the gun, you just hit him with the pipe, you know?
Yeah.
So,
Okay, so you want to bring a gun and a pipe to every meeting.
With your doctor.
Pipe concealed.
I do not fear the man who brings a gun to a meeting. I fear the man who brings a gun and a pipe.
The pipe that kills you instantly.
If he brings
I guess.
100 guns, he can only scare half a GP.
right, I gotta go update the whiteboards. Come here.
Again, if you take issue with any of this, you can like mount the stage and like beat us to death on the live stream. You can like get tickets to the other
That's
two
not true.
nights.
And then you can mount the stage and beat us to death.
We specifically asked for a very tall stage. Downside is the first 3 rows can see up my skirt. It's fine. Now,
If you're not here and you don't have tickets, if you leave now,
You could see up a skirt by night 3. No.
Night 2 and 3's outfits are worse. Now,
you see, she's unbuttoning the jacket, so we're almost there. This standoff that we're in. See who loses the jacket first.
I'm okay again, actually. I'm cooled down.
he sees Boff in the other tower, and he's like, fuck, I've done 9/11 in the wrong order.
I've done 11-9.
Yeah, these are actually the Counter Fitzgerald offices. I should be in the other one, fuck's sake. So he has to get down to the thing, and like we see, like this is one of the only moments that hits me as he kind of humanizes him, is when we see him realize that he is an oaf. I keep this in the green room personally, but when he just puts his head in his hands and just goes, oh God.
Yeah, he's outside, like bent over double. Like, and it's like real, like 100%.
Yeah, it's nice.
Get
actually.
it?
Johnny English has imposter syndrome. So he goes to infiltrate the thing, and they do a second Hennemore joke. Because they go, and we got these 2 rings. One is a truth serum, and the other is a powerful muscle relaxant. And they may as well have gone, we got 2 rings. One is a kind of a written comedy ring, and the other one is a physical comedy ring. You will mix these up. So they infiltrate the situation, and they jab a guy with what they think is the muscle relaxant. And then that guy, obviously it's the like fucking truth serum, that guy has a powerful psychosomatic reaction to being jabbed with fucking anything. Because he goes limp as fuck.
Yeah.
Well, like Buff hits him. Buff uncle chops him. It's worth noting.
They knock him out. They come back to this guy later. That's set up.
Once again.
Power Buff. He strikes.
Yeah, a man named for his like Batman sort of like
Buff. He hits the ground.
Also, Natalie Imbruglia is here.
Yeah, she is.
You doing anything?
And she rescues them. She's like, I work for Interpol. I'm here to rescue you, actually.
Johnny, mate.
Work for the fucking Southern Hemisphere.
That's what we call a condom down here, you know? That's funny. You've not been talking to the fucking cops, have you, mate?
Yeah, the cops.
You've not been talking to Interpol, have you, mate? You want to start?
Yeah. Johnny English accidentally jabs himself with and a goon with the muscle relaxant. So would you get some physical comedy?
It's dire. He's doing the like, oh, my muscles have gone wibbly thing. But Natalie Imbruglia rescues them. They escape. They get directions from the guard who they hit with the truth serum on the way out.
To be fair, I love this guy.
I love this line. Yeah, he like comes up behind me. He's like, hey, what you did really hurt me.
Yeah. And it's
good line.
Buff is the one who's just like, yeah, really sorry. How do we get out? And he's like, oh, you got left right here. Oh no, what have I just said? And then they hit him again.
Chop him again.
I do sort of want to shout out the muscle relaxant goon, who is played by Douglas McFerrin, because he does physical comedy better than Rowan Atkinson.
Yeah.
Which is embarrassing for Rowan Atkinson. Like, that guy's not coming back in Johnny English 2 or 3.
No.
To be 100% clear.
Yeah.
So they infiltrate the party that Savage is throwing. Because it's 2003, there's a kind of dangerously exotic swing violin setup. It's fucking terrible.
I liked it. I like it when I walk into a party and the band is playing a live arrangement of my theme song from the opening credits. I think it's cool. It's a nice detail.
I don't love that. It makes me feel very, like, surveilled. I would feel kind of owned if they hit me with the Kill James Bond theme song at an event.
Oh, come on. If we had a live band playing a live dance arrangement of the Kill James Bond theme song, you'd love that.
God, that'd be so set up.
Like a prison spotlight tracking me.
Shit.
I'm scurrying for the exit like some kind of beetle at that point. Like
Nate, if the thing for the third night, just...
we're not doing it.
She doesn't want it. I know.
It's fine. We can probably get the money back, actually.
There goes the deposit.
So he does some more physical comedy bits because Pegasus is there and he's still like, he's got the fucking poppers on him. He's like dilated. He's
Yeah.
He's a bit loose, you know? And at this point I wrote, hi, I'm ready for the physical comedy to be over now.
Not yet. Give it a minute. Because there's the foreign secretary there and he like sexually assaults her a bit.
Yes,
like
he
comedy
does.
style.
Don't do that. Like,
But like funny ways though.
oh, okay. That's fine then.
He goes
No
like,
further
"Oh."
questions, Your Honor.
Falls
Cool.
into her breasts, yeah.
It doesn't hold up in court. There's like, oh, I did it funny style. There's almost no crime where that is a reasonable defense to mount.
Your Honor, I had a laugh track following me around.
Yeah.
I was hyped up by my own theme song, which
They were
was
playing my theme
unbeknownst
music
to
when
me.
I came in. One thing led to another.
We do get a line because Pascal Sauvage goes up to M and he's just like, "Oh, I was having a lovely time, but your agent English and his curious boyfriend here broke into my office and assaulted my staff." And I'm like, "Okay, 2003, a little bit of homophobia from the bad guy."
Is he wrong, though?
He's right. Like, he is right.
No,
It's...
he's the only person who's correctly perceived this.
Yeah.
yeah. So then we get a dance scene with Natalie and Imbruglia. Listen, I really want to like her in this movie. I'm just torn, you know? This is how I feel.
Fuck you.
Are you happy in your work?
I feel great. I feel fantastic. I'm supported in my workplace. So they find like a DVD where it says his plan, right?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Is it the whole plan yet or just half the plan?
Just half the plan. I was just gonna skip it and we'll find it out later.
Okay.
Yeah. So obviously Pegasus M fires him, right? He doles out the worst punishment you used to be able to give a British civil servant.
Fucking God.
3 months of paid leave.
And
Your old job back.
Oh, Jesus.
Oh, you only killed every single one of our best agents and then like embarrassed us repeatedly in front of a greatest ally of our nation. You can have your job back though.
The PCS, the Public and Commercial Services Union, right? They might affiliate with a kind of dubious socialist party, but they represent the fuck out of Johnny English.
Yeah.
yeah, because he's killed all their other members.
He's good.
He's all
The whole union is just for him.
To be honest, if I was Em at this point, if I was Em, I'd just be like, "Are you working for like the Russians or something?" Like, I would like, how could he have done a worse job if it was on purpose?
Yeah, I don't know.
But so he walks home in the rain.
Yeah, I do. Again, you get a moment like of genuinely like distraught and embarrassed Johnny English, which is kind of funny. It's good to like see him genuinely cut up. You know?
I always like seeing men suffer.
Yeah.
So this is thank you. We will be signing merch after the show. But so at this point we get the Queen because
Pascal Sauvage is just like, Johnny English saw the fake Archbishop earlier on in the scene.
we missed a bunch of details.
Dev November and Abby didn't mention it, but he did. I've read the script and Pascal Sauvage. I read the
he's got a
script.
tattoo on his ass.
He saw the fake Archbishop, and the fake Archbishop has a tattoo on his bum. And so we're going to change the plan. We got plan B. Instead of doing the fake Archbishop, we're just going to get the Queen at gunpoint and force her to abdicate.
Yeah, and they do a comedy bit where they hold the Queen at gunpoint and it doesn't work. So they have to hold her at gunpoint another 199 times. No, so same hit points as a GP, weirdly. No, they hold one of the corgis at gunpoint and she's like, oh, fuck.
She abdicates.
I never thought you'd do this. And at this point, I begin to wonder.
She wouldn't give a shit if you iced the corgis.
Well, not now.
No.
This is what
They're
happened.
all buried in there with her.
Oh, they got
They're
mummified.
ritually fucking entombed to serve her in the afterlife. There's nary a corgi to be found in any of the royal estate now. At this point, I do sort of wonder whether Neil Purvis and Robert Wade wrote the Bond Olympics opening sketch. And I wasn't able to find that out. But
I was picturing all the James Bonds in a race. Because I forgot about that. At the Bond Olympics.
The Bond Olympics. Okay. Now we're talking.
Caroline Cossey's competing in a Bond girl event and fucking J.K. Rowling's furious. Wait, no, it wouldn't be Caroline Cossey. It would be like fucking Halle Berry competing in the Bond girl Olympics.
No, Caroline Cossey has not been allowed to be in the Olympics this year.
But yeah, so they do this. She signs away the crown from all of her heirs and descendants and stuff.
James Bond losing the pole vault because his dick's too big.
Caroline Cossey losing the pole.
Which...
at this point, I have to issue a CinemaSins ding. This is a formal warning, and it will go on your permanent record. Because one of the henchmen hands in the crown jewels, and they go, the crown jewels have been handed into a police station in North London. It's Wood Street Police Station, decommissioned. It's in the City of London. Really nice architecturally, really imposing architecture, so of course they sold it. That has been the CinemaSins ding. Thank you at this time.
Okay.
Yeah. So Johnny English is like...
Thank you, officer.
I do kind of like the hand wave here, because clearly Pascal Sauvage has given up hard on doing this the subtle way. He's like, fuck it.
Mm-hmm.
Just give him the fucking crown jewels back. He gets dropped off in a duffel bag. And it just puts the queen to gunpoint. They get the scene where he is told that he's the king now, right? They're like, we've had a look, and the next in line is you. And what's really good is that when he tells her, Jesus Christ, I'm losing my fucking train of thought here. When the fella, who I imagine is probably supposed to be the prime minister,
Mr. Gibbs.
when Mr. Gibbs, of course, sorry. When Mr. Gibbs tells this fella, it's not that fun, it's not good enough, you know what, I'm not doing it.
Okay.
No, I really...
The build-up was way too long, and it just wasn't good.
I like John Malkovich's pretend shock, where he's like, we've come up with a name, Pascal. And he's like, who is it? And he goes, it's you. And he goes, no.
Sacre bleu.
Sacre bleu.
So Johnny English then goes gamer mode. He stays in the apartment. He games. He gets quite unkempt. He gets a beard. A beard of sorrow. And Natalie Imbruglia...
He also doesn't change out of his white tux, so that's a beard of sorrow that grew overnight.
It's got a stink.
Yeah.
It's not clear how long it is as well, because we get a little bit
6
of
months, I don't know.
We start seeing the notes getting printed in preparation for the new
they've
king.
barely done that now.
By the way, insane to imagine getting the notes done in advance. Chuck 3 has been king for however fucking long it's been, and I haven't seen his mug on anything.
No.
I've seen
things you're not
maybe
seeing.
A stamp?
Any corgis?
Maybe a stamp.
Charles III banknotes.
Charles III bank.
To teach the controversy.
Seen that bastard on a coin? Nothing. To be fair, I feel like they don't know they can print money at the mint. That might be the problem that they're running into.
Yeah.
Rachel, if you're watching, you can print money.
Yeah, and you can get here probably tonight. Number 11's right.
I wouldn't, though.
Bring the print. We'll help you. We'll show you how to work it.
Yeah.
I have some thoughts about fiscal policy.
So Natalie Imbruglia goes to visit him and is like...
This is so grim to do to her, right? To make her act this.
Yeah. She's like, Johnny, we need to go to Act 3 of the film now. So you've hit your low point. It's time now to bounce back. And he's like, no, I can't. She goes, but what if you did? And he goes, yeah, all right, we've got to do the rest of the movie.
She's like, stop refusing the call, idiot. And he's like, gotcha.
But she says, Pascal Sauvage is hosting Crimes Con at his chateau in France. We gotta go there to
some of the guest speakers were really good this year.
Yeah.
But yeah,
I couldn't go. The sponsors, I had to boycott it. I didn't.
Barclays.
I don't know why they won't invite me to be a featured creator at CrimesCon. They did it once 2 years ago, and I'm way bigger now than I was then.
Inscrutable beef. Which is really what I should have called the head of security at the Tower of London. My beef inscrutable.
Well, they're laughing, so it's got to be good, right?
I can just get up here and say fucking anything. So
don't internalize that.
So they drive to France.
The south of France. Yeah, and again, it's grim to do this to Natalie Imbruglia, but she kind of hits on him at a restaurant. She's like, "Listen, I have had a 3-year dry spell. Listen, references to the song "Torn Aside," right? Natalie Imbruglia. you would not have a 1 hour dry spell if you didn't want to. You can get here probably like night 3 if you, like...
If you're in Australia.
Any Australian moment. So, Johnny English tries to... This bit's almost funny, which is sort of a compliment.
Yeah.
Where he's like obviously so overwhelmed with how horny he is that she takes it as him being chivalric. And she goes like, oh, thank you for being such a gentleman. And he goes, not at all, with a sort of thing that contains multitudes. You know, he's having a fucking I saw the TV glow moment in there. He's...
There's also a bit now which seems strangely dated, and also I notice is a theme of this film that they drop hard for 2 and 3, is that he says, I don't want to think about what Pascal Savage is going to do to the country I love. And his love of his country is entirely sincere, and one of his big character motivations is that he's genuinely patriotic.
Yes.
And like now, fucking like 21 years later, it's genuinely fucking weird to hear someone say that they love their country. Like even M in James Bond couldn't do that when he was just like, oh, I believe in the principles of this. And it's like, he couldn't even come up with anything.
I really enjoy the like McTassos or whatever on the South Bank.
Yeah.
It's like, I really enjoy there's a Wendy's in Lincoln. Bond, you have to get hit by a missile for the sake of Wendy's in Lincoln. This is basically what happens to him. But so no, English fully does like believe in and love his country. And because of this, he's like, we got to infiltrate this like Mont Saint-Michel style castle where Savage is doing his evil plan. And she goes, do you want to go up the ladder? He's like, no, I have a better plan. I'm going to climb up this chute. And then we cut to above the chute where every henchman, all the boys, engaging in a bonding activity called all doing one communal shit.
Yeah.
I've never done this as part of a team building thing. I don't think I'd want to work somewhere that did.
It's an odd icebreaker to go with, but it
go around the
breaks
room
that
and
ice.
say 2 things about yourselves and then also take a shit.
At the same time, like, what if they don't need to go? You don't sync up if you live with someone.
Well, if henchmen like are together, they kind of, their cycles sort of...
Well, they're not checking everyone. Like, I guess you can just go in there and sit down for a bit. You know, just if you want to hang out with the boys and you...
Yeah, sure. So...
They've all got diarrhea as well. Like,
he does, yeah, he gets covered in shit.
Yeah.
Which is funny, apparently.
He gets covered in shit.
And at this point...
She just climbs up the ladder, she's fine.
Yeah. At this point, Pascal does outline his plan.
Yeah, which is, it's really poorly mixed, so I will be amazed if any of you can make out what his evil plan is, but he does say it.
I will turn England into the largest prison in the history of the world.
Between the mix and the accent, that's like a...
Yeah, so, okay.
voice scrambling technology.
The plan is that the monarch can seize any piece of land they want. Which
M does say, of course, the Queen never uses this enormous power afforded to her, which is an interesting constitutional interpretation.
So the idea is that, like, the moment Pascal is crowned king, he's going to do Escape from New York, but with like the entirety of Britain. He's going to do Escape from Turf Island.
That was your plan too, right? Like, that was your plan too, right?
Yeah, definitely, yeah.
Yeah.
He's going to like put a big prison wall around the whole island, and then he's going to turn Britain into like the prison of the world. Every country is going to send all of their prisoners to Britain, and then he's like, that's where, and then like we're not going to run out of space for 500 years. We're all going to make a fucking fortune off doing this.
Pascal Starmer.
That's what it feels like sometimes, man.
Every day of my fucking life.
The damn island's a prison.
So she fucking makes him shower off all of the French turds. He's still kind of vaguely turd covered. He's like punished Johnny for most of the rest of the movie because it's a white
It's a hell of a punishment, yeah.
To be at the receiving end of the communal workplace shit. That's something they were doing to like Marie Antoinette, like Cersei Lannister. You can't do that.
I really hate the
jealous.
communal workplace shit, man.
Yeah, Buff's like, did you go to the laboratory on your way here? Like, this is cool. Like, what fucking happens next?
What happens next is that Johnny English accidentally like broadcasts his voice to the entire hall where he's telling Natalie and Brie like, we have the element of surprise.
Yeah.
And then Pascal Savage does a really cunty like, And so Johnny English like drops down and is like, aha, I've got you. And then like Pascal pretends to be surprised and then like goons take him hostage. At this point, Johnny English tries to take the DVD that has he's created like a DVD presentation of his evil plan, which is like very thorough.
It's nice, yeah, it's fun.
And he tries to take the DVD and we see that he mixes it up, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They get locked in prison, and he gets tied to Natalie Imbruglia. Doesn't seem to enjoy it as much as I might. And he's like, don't worry, I have a racist bit. This is not a thing you should say, ever, but especially in this situation. This is where, how long are flights from Guatemala, would you say?
Well, it's less.
I guess we'll find out, like night 2 or 3. Either that or a bunch of Guatemalans show up night 4, where we're not here, and it's just a really awkward situation all around. But he kind of looks at the lock, and he's like, don't worry, I learned a secret technique.
The shaman throat warblers of the Guatemalan Delta.
The shaman throat warblers of the Guatemalan Delta. It turns out that if you like vibrate your voice at the right frequency, people stop yelling at you for going into women's bathrooms.
It's true, I learned this in Guatemala.
Yeah. So he gets,
Guatemalan voice labs, they taught me everything.
he gets right down next to the thing. He's like, heat from fire, fire from heat.
When sunlight strikes, raindrops in the air.
Yeah. And it doesn't work, right? But boff.
One person laughing in the front row in a very high pitch. Well done. Excellent resonance. Excellent resonance. I'm going to text Claire after this and be like, got one of yours in.
But the thing is Natalie Imbruglia is not in a DS relationship with him.
I did the Cambridge Latin course version of voice feminization. First of all, why I sound like this, but it means all I got is Caecilius est in horta. Thank you.
Ah, the heckler.
Boff breaks into the prison cell and frees them.
And saves the day.
Yeah, Natalie's not doing the boff bit with him, so he does the like, oh, I've learned a technique in Guatemala. And she's just like, shut up. What are you, stupid?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Is there even a Delta in Guatemala? I don't know.
I'm not willing to say live without checking.
That's reasonable.
I think it's worth noting there's probably rivers in Guatemala.
Yeah.
Almost certainly. So we then cut to London, where Capital Radio, remember that, is doing a bit.
It's real?
Apparently.
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, I mean, like XFM was too cool for this movie, so it's Capital or like Heart or whatever.
Yeah, Dog on it.
Yeah, and I like the good Fallout games.
Yeah, me too. That's what I fucking said.
That's curious because you didn't reference Fallout New Vegas, but instead Fallout 3.
Name the other good Fallout games. Because you used a plural just then.
1 and 2.
Yeah, 100%. Good. I liked Fallout 4's base building. It was nice. I just started treating it like Minecraft creative mode, basically.
That's basically what
the
4
game
is.
fucking sucks shit.
Yeah.
Though.
Anyway, the bit is like, so we're about to be under like French rule. So text in with your favorite French thing, and no one has because everyone hates the French.
Yeah, literally no.
This was pre-wooferendum, right? So like there weren't people being performatively European in Britain yet, and instead everyone had to be like, I hate those cunts.
Yeah.
It was before you could get like your fucking French bread in cafes. Instead, you had to have like English bread made out of rocks.
Yeah.
And also before we realized that it actually rules.
Get petit filou. Like those weren't allowed yet.
No.
They stopped those at the
border. It makes
border.
bones grow stronger.
Yeah. Couldn't get it. You had to have like small filou.
We had fucked bones. 2000.
Bones were fucking stunted. It wasn't puberty block, it was fucking absence of petit filou.
What the fuck is a pain au chocolat? So everybody hates the French, but everybody is also watching with bated breath the coronation. Remember when you did that? Remember what a big event that was internationally? Like you and your mates
don't
were
worry,
like
we'll have another
sitting
soon.
around. It was a lot like football in like ads for Doritos or beer, where you have like 3 very photogenic friends over to eat 1 bag of Doritos and watch the coronation. Do you remember when we did this?
John Malkovich's coronation fit looks better than the real one did on the real king.
Yeah.
That's true. The real one looked like it was like sponsored by Cadbury's. Like,
I know the reason for this because I remember the coronation happening and I was chatting to like the costume supervisor on House of the Dragon who was just like, looks like shit because the royal family don't have a weathering department. it all looks brand new and clean because it is. Like a king's robes should be like aged and they should look like old and ancient.
Elden Ring shit.
Authority
That
in it,
makes
like,
so much
it
sense,
looks
yeah.
like he got it.
Crafted a bunch of shit to
It
King
looks
Charles.
like he got it at the fucking Amazon. He looks like Finster. Like it looks cheap.
Getting coronated in the classic Amazon Basics skirt.
Also, like, artificial fabrics, like real silk looks cheap now because of fake silk. Like, it just, polyester has ruined the king.
By the power vested in me, you may now make dress go spinny. That's for the transgenders.
So,
I think it'd be better if Finster was crowned monarch. That'd be great.
I don't.
Any of them out there? That's a couple, wow.
Ah, the heckler.
Every time. So they do a couple of shots of like Canadians watching the coronation because
Like originally, or did you fly here for this?
Walk among us.
hello Canadians.
Crazy.
So some of my best bosses are Canadians. But yeah, because he's going to be king of Canada too. They're finally going to like, you know, the French Indian was wrongly decided, right? They're going to fucking give it all to France now. Australia, they have a bunch of guys with like the Crocodile Dundee hats being like, oh, the fucking king, innit? That's not an Australian accent.
Oh, Struth in it. Cunt.
Oh, Struth blood.
Oh, Struth, boss man.
Me when I'm getting a kebab in Adelaide.
I think one of the families in this little global montage is meant to be Indian as well, and I'm like, no, we don't have that one anymore.
We lost that one.
I was getting, there was the point of the whole bit was that they also add in an Indian family, and in India, because the Taj Mahal is outside the window, they've got like lotus garlands on the TV, and you're not king of that anymore. For like, at this point, 60 years.
Like, it wasn't a recent thing in 2003.
It made quite... There was news. It definitely like made...
Yeah, I'm pretty sure people heard about it. Like,
I'm pretty certain that like people noticed in India when they stopped having a British king.
Just get a nice Desi breakfast from Chaiwala. It's on the like newspaper they give you.
just like Queen dead, entombed with 500,000 corgis.
Yeah. Oh.
Crazy. So yeah, we get that inexplicable shot, and the coronation goes ahead. But Johnny English is there to save the day,
haunting this coronation. It's Johnny English.
He does a series of bits.
He does a lot of bits.
He defrocks in a more literal sense.
The Archbishop of Canterbury.
Because he's got a tattoo on his ass.
What I do respect is that Pascal tries to warn him off doing the Archbishop thing.
He's just way. He's just like,
hold on, we scrapped the Archbishop thing. Don't do this. Don't do that. It's the real Archbishop instead. Whoops.
Mm-hmm. He pulls the Archbishop's frock and then underwear down and like exposes his backside to the entire world.
To be fair, would be an interesting bit of TV. You know, like watching the sort of coronation bloopers on Harry Hill's TV burp. But so...
And then he says...
It takes a more body horror turn because he does try to pull off the Archbishop of Canterbury's face.
Yeah.
Like an XL bully.
Yeah.
He just grabs hold of it and tries to rip the entire face off him.
There's a surprisingly hardcore bit because Boff is in the control room and like
surprisingly hardcore
Boff has like the BBC director at like gunpoint.
For legal reasons, we can't complete that joke.
Yeah.
He's fucking operating, is Boff.
Boff is dressed like Jason Bourne in this too. Like
Jason Boff.
freed from Johnny English, Boff is like dangerously, frighteningly competent. Yeah.
Johnny tells him play the DVD of like the Pascal Sauvage's evil presentation. And of course, because he got the DVDs mixed up, it's surveillance footage that the goons shot of Johnny English earlier, and it's him like lip syncing to ABBA in his shower.
Yeah. Which is funny.
Is it?
It's kind of fun. Like,
listen,
yeah,
okay,
there's
right,
a long.
I'm gonna figure this out. You keep going.
Okay. There's a long sequence where like they're playing that and everyone's like reacting to it, and you get a bunch of reaction shots. And the reaction shot of Johnny, he is like singing along with it again still. When I do kind of like
humor is the tendency of experiences to provoke laughter.
Let's highlight this shit because You don't have your notepad. It's on your phone, which makes you look like the most distracted podcaster.
Yeah.
I could be looking at fucking Twitter on this. You don't know. Shit, actually derives from the humoral medicine of the ancient Greeks. So, you know, so you can take that knowledge to the bank. The blood bank.
And so Johnny, he swings down and he grabs the crown out of the Archbishop's hands just as it's about to go into Pascal's head.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And at this point, Pascal makes a fatal error, which is that he decides to just completely expose himself as a villain. He pulls a gun, like a really cunty little gun, actually. What is it?
I actually I didn't catch this. I've failed you, I'm afraid.
I was counting on your guns, autism.
I know, this is, and the worst part is, this is an organization that doesn't tolerate failure.
The Heckler and Koch G36.
Close enough.
He pulls a cunty little gun, which, by the way, is the same color as his outfit.
Right,
Love that.
I was going to say, open up like Internet Movie Firearm database.
IMFDB Johnny English.
Yeah, let's just get to the bottom of this.
I love having like a gun that's like on theme with your outfit. I think that's adorable.
Yeah.
And he gives this like angry speech that is specifically anti-English. It's like he does anti-English racism. And he says like all this country,
Finally.
He goes, all this shitty little country has to do is stand in line and do as it's told for one day, but it can't even do that. And everyone is like, oh, I'm so offended.
It's actually a Walther PPK.
Oh, cute.
Looks smaller when it's not in a Bond movie.
Walther PPK.
And when it's in stainless steel. But yeah, so he's like, England.
For women.
England, that's right. England fucking sucks.
Fuck England.
I can't wait to put you all in prison. It was very similar to, again, the Starmer victory speech.
Yeah.
I welcome you all going to prison.
And he tries to be crowned at gunpoint, but Johnny English like falls down above him, pushes him out of the throne, and then the crown goes on Johnny English's head, which apparently makes him king.
That makes him king. Yeah, that counts.
Due to the ancient Norman law of dibs. Johnny English then becomes king and goes like, right, arrest that guy.
Yeah, he goes, take him away.
So...
And they do take away, and everyone starts cheering.
In fairness, this is only like 10% sillier than actually having a magic hat that people think makes you the boss of them.
That's true.
Yeah, true, I guess, yeah.
But so, that's sort of the movie. We get a little epilogue.
Yeah, so the Queen, brackets, reinstated. They dig her up. They put her back.
Yeah, Johnny English abdicates, which does mean that for the next 2 nights, canonically, the character we're talking about has been King of England briefly. I'll bring that up once or twice.
10 minutes, yeah. And the Queen says, can your country do anything for you? And he's just like, yeah, suck my dick and balls from the back.
He asks for a knighthood, which is less than Hillary Cascott. So, you know, considering... And
I do like that we get the sort of like voiceover. It's like they're gonna kill Pascal Savage. By the way, they're gonna kill him.
Much like Danger Diabolic, they're like, we've reinstated the death penalty.
But like, no, he's like accused of treason, and they're like, by the way, that still carries the death penalty, and then they don't touch it again.
It's a myth.
It doesn't.
They're gonna kill him. They're gonna kill him.
He can't get us. You can't touch us for shit.
Well, you can 5 years for it being a Zoom call, though.
It would not be a Kill James Bond type of movie if we didn't finish with one last piece of ableism. Because Pascal Savage is quoted on the radio as saying that he wants his brain to be donated to better understand the causes of, and this is a quote, hypomanic schizophrenia. This is a dude who has previously seemed perfectly in control of his faculties. Never seemed manic, hypermanic, any of this. But it's just a little fun line to end on, to be like, check it out, schizophrenia. That's a thing that exists. Huge laugh line, I imagine.
Yeah. It could go crazy in 2003.
Here's a silly sounding word.
Yeah.
Is that the joke?
Yeah.
Yeah, genuinely, yeah. I'm just like, ooh.
Okay. So Natalie Imbruglia gets ejected out of an ejector seat. That's not funny.
I will say, here's some silly sounding words is a lot of our bread and butter.
That's true. She lands in a swimming pool next to Boff, who is enjoying a nice holiday.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they eject to see her, and it's the...
Just because it says 24/7, it doesn't have to be 24/7. You're allowed to safe word and go to the south of France for a bit. It's fine.
Hang out for a bit. Pro tip, by the way, if a car pulls up with the skylight entirely and only above the passenger seat in the front, get in the back. Get in the back.
And the final joke of the movie, which I do quite like, is there's someone else sitting by the pool who lowers a newspaper and looks at Natalie landing in the pool. And it's the guy who looks exactly like the weird henchman he described earlier with the orange hair.
They're like,
and I was like, okay, that's
guy.
quite funny. That's quite funny.
That's kind of funny. Okay.
So
I'll let you have it.
I have to ruin your night, right, and say that this movie was catastrophically profitable.
I too aspire to someday be catastrophically profitable.
People love this shit because
Problematically.
people love Mr. Bean, and they go, "That's a movie with fucking Mr. Bean in it." So I will take my kids.
I don't want to see a movie with fucking Mr. Bean in it. Honestly, that feels like a crime.
Flicking Mr. Bean.
I don't think Mr. Bean can consent.
There's a fucking Lucy Valentine tweet from like 2020 that's like, Mr. Bean would do all sorts of Rube Goldberg shit to your clit. And I think about that genuinely all the time.
Not to mine.
Yeah, he's gonna have to fucking find it.
What does this movie say about masculinity, about Englishness, about what your dad thinks is cool, presuming your dad is like a white English guy of a certain age?
First of all, right, fuck traffic lights. Fuck
For real?
Speed cameras.
Fuck speed cameras to pieces.
Yeah.
Fuck them raw, out of here. Fuck the French.
Yeah. And Aston Martin is a cool car to drive. Japanese food is disgusting.
It's not even just it's disgusting. It's weird.
Yeah, it's weird and disgusting.
It's just like, ugh.
I'll tell you what is quite nice though, is that, so Johnny English, the first half of the sentence is going to sound bad. Johnny English does sexually assault two people on camera. However,
he was dissociating.
However,
it's nice that he's not like predatory. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's accidental nonsense.
yeah.
Like Natalie Imbruglia is really into him and he doesn't know what to do with
And he
that.
doesn't get the girl at the end, right?
Yeah,
Does he?
yeah.
Because of his own buffoonishness, right?
Yeah.
Like the Bean nature takes over. He feels the sort of Bean rising within him.
In a way, like Johnny English 2003, accidental sexual assaults aside.
Weird subtitles.
What a phrase. I feel uncomfortable with this. Is it in a way, it's like less misogynistic than like some later Bond films would be.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Fully.
I think my problem with this, right, is Purvis and Wade, right, have written quite a competent comedy thing. The director did Sliding Doors, which is a good rom-com. Like, it's like a well-made film. It's just kind of mediocre, right? And this is the problem, is that this establishes a theme, right, which is when there's a gap in Bond, you get Johnny English. This is Bond off-season. This is the Bond franchise with its tie undone, right? And it's like poured itself kind of too large of a drink.
Yeah.
And I think if you view this, like, they used to say that like Sinn Féin were the political wing of the IRA. This is like the comedic wing of James Bond.
It is. It is.
Yeah.
This is James Bond's like Al Nusra. Like it's, and you have to, if you condemn James Bond, then you have to, by the same token, because the political ends that it seeks to achieve are illegitimate, you have to condemn also Johnny English.
I have no problem doing that.
Yeah.
I thought that was what we're here to do.
That's right.
We're here to kill him. We're going to more than condemn him. We're going to kill the bastard.
Well, I like to ramp these things up,
They've already cast the fourth one. I'm not asked.
This is true, right? Because again, gaps, right? Like
Sorry, that's me learning right now that there's a fourth
on
one
live on
planned.
stage. Yeah, they are making a fourth. They are filming it right now.
They're filming it right now. As we speak, they are filming Johnny English 4 in Malta. If you could get here tonight.
Or alternatively, we could all get to Malta. But
Secret fourth night just announced in Malta.
But yeah, no, it's fully all of the same stuff that was in Bond, in Brosnan Bond specifically, like just being laundered through physical comedy and how funny the B sound is.
It's cope. They're coping with the fact that people found Die Another Day so bad it's funny. They're like, we meant it to be funny, actually.
Yeah, and you'll see over the next 2 nights, tickets still available, that the
come back.
English franchise follows very closely the trajectory of the Bond franchise. Johnny English 2 is like post-Craig. It's grimmer, it's darker. There's a bit where he gets his testicles whipped with a knotted rope, and that's not true, but...
It's Boff gets that.
Oh, good
That's
for
what's
him.
happening to Boff during the second one that he's not in. He's like black site
He was
shit.
in North Korean prison.
It's a real shame.
Getting scorpions dangled over.
He was never the same.
But
he signed that letter in support of J.K. Rowling.
yeah, from North Korean prison, really weird. But we don't have to resort to subjective judgments on this podcast because we have, back with the whiteboards, a science-based system.
I was kind of fine, actually. I don't want to do this.
It stands for SMARM, cultural insensitivity, unprovoked violence and misogyny. And how smarmy is Johnny English?
It's always tough to hit a fucking comedy with how smarmy it is, because like we're talking about how pleased with itself this movie is.
Somewhat.
Right?
The J-turn. When
The
he pulls
J-turn.
off the perfect J-turn in the Aston Martin, even though you get the close-up of him being like, oh, you jammy bastard to himself,
Yeah.
it's not enough.
It's like, fuck off. Like, I don't
he's-
like you. Why would I be?
Yeah, he's like suddenly competent. I mean, kind of the thing is, it's all smarm, but then it's undercut by him like getting stuff wrong, fucking up, being an oaf.
All that stuff about like the Guatemalan throat warblers and shit, that's all smart, yeah.
The shaman throat warblers of the Guatemalan Delta.
Pretty fucking smarmy.
That's pretty bad.
Is it still smarm if you then have the guy do a pratfall afterwards?
Yes.
So an existential question. Well, in that case, 7.
Oh, okay, cool. Nice.
Yep, I'm down for 7.
Unprovoked violence.
Wait, hold on. The sum system.
Some,
Oh, yeah.
It's really hot up here.
it's called the Cums system.
Yeah, how big is this movie's Comes? Huge.
Oh, wow, yeah.
Small.
Cultural insensitivity. Listen, we're not grading on a curve, 7. I got
that's true.
multiple racist noises. You know what I got to grade you if you have multiple racist noises? That shit's not funny. You can't do that.
That's not even including like the Bedouin line or
The
the
yo
Orient
sushi.
line
Yeah.
or the fucking yo sushi line.
I'm pretty
Christ.
sure.
Sushi.
Are there any characters of color in this?
No. Not even one. Not a single one. Which is crazy
even, like,
for
in a non-speaking
2003.
Yeah, I think I want to go.
Like Bond movies had, like the last Bond movie had Halle Berry in it in a leading role. And this one, which is like a couple of years later, is like, you know what? We just all white cast.
Yeah, especially in a film that is ostensibly about like English or British patriotism. It's really weird to do that, actually.
Yep, barely has women in it, let alone like people of color. It's got like one white woman.
And she's Australian.
Yeah,
7.
7.
I think she's British Australian, to be honest. But.
Unprovoked violence. I mean, to be honest, he's a man more
He doesn't
sinned
do it.
against than sinning, right? He's the guy who climbs up the poop chute rather than the guy. Some of you saw season 1, episode 2 of The Boys. He's not really violent, is he?
Doesn't really kill
No.
anyone.
No,
Also,
he
a lot of
does
his
not do
weapons,
unprovoked violence.
a lot of his weapons are non-lethal, like the muscle relaxant serum.
Yeah, his gun literally doesn't work. Like,
He is
lets it
disarming
up.
the security services himself by accident.
Yeah.
yeah.
Is he anti-carceral?
He's anti-cop. He does imprison a guy and lead directly to his execution, but presumably that's above his pay grade.
But he prevents, 65 million people from being imprisoned. So
the Johnny English doing the trolley problem, yeah.
Okay.
I might be
I genuinely think it's
he's
nothing.
technically doing prison abolition.
He's technically doing prison
If
abolition.
you think about it, Johnny English is one of the most successful prison abolitionists this country's ever seen.
I don't like that. I don't like that.
I guess.
You're
I guess.
so right.
I hate to say it. This may be praxis. We give you the theory. Johnny English gives you the praxis. Christ, 0?
Zero.
Maybe, yeah.
Have we ever done that before?
Give it 1. I don't even know we can go to 0.
You'll give it a 1.
You don't get you
What
don't
are
get
they
input on
yelling
this.
at us?
Sorry,
This is not a democracy. It's your own time.
it's a
you're wasting.
triumvirate.
And misogyny.
Sorry, a veer and triumvirate. Well, there's one woman in it.
And she falls in love with him.
Yeah. Doesn't like consummate that, I guess, but that's because again he turns into Mr. Bean,
Yeah.
which is a pretty good reason not to consummate anything, if you ask me.
Yeah, Mr. Bean absolutely cannot consent.
Yeah, for sure. She's like good at the spy stuff. She gets a little fight scene that's so boring we didn't mention it in the coronation.
Yeah,
Like,
that's true. She gets to do some action.
Clutching at straws.
yeah.
It's bad.
5?
5.
Yeah.
I'll do 5.
Okay.
I mean, a lot of the other... There's like a secretary at the start who gets hit with a dart gun from
So
a pen.
boring we didn't even mention it. Throwaway money penny joke.
Done.
Not
Yeah.
interested. 5,
Yeah.
6, 5.
Send it.
Yeah, weird though that it's better than a lot of the Bond films.
Yeah, by a mission.
Yeah, yeah.
So it's the same way as me saying like I'm better at parallel parking than a guy who like killed someone running them over with his car. I am better at leaving a studio parking lot than Steve Coogan. I don't drive.
Steve, if you're watching, you could you could make it here probably too fast, actually. Slow down a little bit.
Steve, if you're watching, you have the opportunity to do the funniest thing ever while we're leaving the venue later on.
So that gives it a total score of 20, which is pretty bad.
You don't say.
Yeah, I mean, I'm looking back over our notes here.
It's sort of it's a Brosnan Bond which fits, right?
Yeah.
Like
Sixth
I
Brosnan.
just doing voice work again.
Yeah, like it's a little bit. It's like a high Brosnan Bond. It's the same as Thunderball.
Yeah,
Yeah,
the
it's,
tracks.
yeah, it's pretty bad. It's like a bad Bond film.
How much did we enjoy watching it personally?
More than the other two.
That's certainly true. This movie sets a low bar, and it will once again fail to clear it. And we are going to tell you all about that tomorrow night, the same time, the same place, and then Johnny English 3 the night after that. Come to all of those, buy live stream tickets. And it only remains for me to say that we are selling merch, we are signing merch, we'll be
do it.
around, we'll
I'll
be
do it.
circulating at the end. And thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for coming out. We hope to see you again the next 2 nights. But if not, it has been an absolute pleasure. We have been Kill James Bond. Good night.